Good morning, traders. Welcome to our trading room. It's open for the public. And as of this morning, one person was asking me, where's the link? So it means there's a lot of traders out there don't even know where the link is. I think I posted on Facebook that, hey, in 10 minutes we are having a thing, and I got a message, hey, where's the link for it, right? I didn't post the link there. My assumption that everybody knows where the link is and everybody is going to get it is wrong, which means you guys can help share that. And the more you share it, the more people will get access to it. Tomorrow would be amazing. It's Friday, right? Tomorrow is Friday. Maybe you never know. You might get a surprise when you come, right? So it's a strange thing. You assume that people, and I think by now might be about 500 people registered for the meeting. We never had 500 people in the room because when we started, it was 300 and something people registered, but we never had 300 something people in the room, right? So I don't know. They had access to it. Some people couldn't figure out the timing, although I explained it. It's an open room. You can come in anytime, but it will only work when I'm in here. And I give you the times I'll be here. I'm here 8 a.m. London time. I'm here at 8 a.m. New York time. Anytime in between that, check on the Facebook. Set up the notification. As a matter of fact, I'm happy how it's going. I'm happy you guys are getting good, and you're enjoying it. And especially this special session that we did yesterday afternoon. It was an open session, open mic, and everybody enjoyed it, and people share a lot of their experience with me. I think I might have managed to convince some people to change what they're doing to make for the better, and I hope to hear feedback from them. I did ask them to give me feedback if what I give them changed anything in their trading. I would like to know whether it helped you, and if it didn't, then what we can do to make it better, right? So if you're this is what I can do. If you guys are trading an account, you're a live trading and you're really, really struggling, right? You're in a lot of batteries and you really need my help, my guidance. If you think it's going to help you, I can, for all of you who attend, I can probably take a look at it. Let's say next week, set for that. I would give you half an hour of my time to go through the trades you're in and see what we can do to help them, if we can help in any way, make it better. Right? So we can do that for you. I can leave 1 week open for that, set time for everybody, if you're open for that, right? So let's go. This is a good trade, so we'll go. So I'll start as we will normally do. We're recording. We're going to go first. We're going to go through all the trades that we made trade calls or we put entries on or we were looking for as an active trade. They're all marked. You know them. We will look what happened to that or what you should have done with it, right? So you would know in the future what to do with it when I am not there, right? So let's go. Silver. We were looking for a buy in silver. This buy is no longer active. We'll take it off. You know why. I told you already. If it comes back to the bottom here, we're no longer looking at the buy setup. It doesn't mean we're not going to take a buy. It means that we'll have to see what's happening here. Is this a consolidation for upside? Or is this trying to consolidate to the bottom here to drop? If that's the case, we look for a sell setup, but we don't have a sell setup. But we actually don't have any setup right now. I'd still think this is a consolidation for upside, but we will look for the buy somewhere from the bottom here going up if we get a setup for that. Gold is the same thing. Gold actually dropped quite a lot. It could still be an expanding flat. I think it is still an expanding flat. If it is an expanding flat, this is what we can do. This would have to be a very aggressive trade. So we can put an entry now to buy here, right? Now, this is a very aggressive trade. Again, we'll have to change the status because this could come here, tag you, and come down back. You're aware of that, right? It could do B1, 2, 3, and this is a flat, and then come back here. It could also go all the way to the top and then come back here. Right? But if we assume that it's an expanding flat and we're going for the expanding flat, the closest you can get to the entry order is there. You can probably put it a little lower if you get a flag here. So if you get a 15 minutes flag here, we'll put it here and we'll go with that trade up. Right? 1, 2, 3. Be careful when you break the top. If they just tag you and start to come back, it's an aggressive trade. Again, you will have to use a stop here. So what you can do when you're using a small stop is reduce your risk in your trade. So if you normally trade 1%, go 0.5%. The risk, the reward you will get will still be the same because you're putting a smaller risk in it, right? It will be a smaller lot, it will be a bigger lot size because of the smaller risk, but you're going to risk less on your account, right? So we're leaving this, but I put it as an aggressive entry. So if you think you're not ready for aggressive entries, don't do that, right? Aggressive entry would be this one. Right? So if you're not ready for an aggressive entry, don't do that. We don't have, sorry, we're going with this one now. Euro. Euro, we're looking for a sell, and it's doing exactly what I discussed with my traders in the morning. The reason we didn't put the sell anywhere closer but put it here is because we saw this. Let me use a yellow. We saw this, and this means this could go back up once more. We're not buying into something like that. Let it go back there, and then we're looking for the sell. So once this break the top, it's a sell setup. This you see, this is an aggressive sell in the making. We'll put it as a sell setup here. We have that entry order already in from this morning, right? So we're looking for a sell setup now. Once this go back up above there, we will move that entry to this level. See, but it has to break the top. It has to go back up, break the top, confirm that this is a flat. And once this flat get above to this level here, you put this entry order to here, and then we look for it to drop. So if I'm not in here, you can move that entry order yourself to that level, right? I'm not putting it as yet because the entry shouldn't be there as yet until this get to the top. If that doesn't get to the top, then we leave it where it is. Boom. Does flat always meet continuation? Keep it to the end of the thing. I'll answer that question. If it goes away, you will repeat it, right? At the end of this, let me finish this and then we'll do that. So what we're looking for here, remember I said you can buy this, it's aggressive, especially when it came down here. If you close the trade for break even, that is okay because this came all the way to the low. If you didn't, you should close the trade here, by all means. So let's call that a break even trade, right? There's no profit to get there in that one. Now you take this off because it's no longer valid. That trade, let's put it this way, that trade didn't go the way you expect and you didn't lose anything. That's what I was trying to explain yesterday, right? That even trades, when you use this method, even trades that don't go, your probability of getting out of that trade for positive break even is good. Remember I did that, was it in the room I did that yesterday or with the guys in the 17? I can't remember. We were explaining to them that even if you lose 50% of your trade, right? But you can get half of that to break even, you will make money, right? Close here for a break even because I had to go to bed. Perfect. Well done, Joji. Joji is amazing in closing trades now. By the way, if you don't mind me telling them, she used to have that problem in closing trades. She used to have trades with 100 pips in profit and then come back and take her out for a break even or a loss. Good trader and then messing them up. So we started using a new trade management and she's doing great. So we'll come to the yen. I know the yen is going down. We'll come to that. So what we're looking for here now, two things. Remember, if this is still the running flat, right? If this will consolidate here and go. So we want the trade. We'll put an entry order above the top for the buy. Right? We can put a buy still above the top. Because if that goes, we want the trade. Look, come on. So you close your trade, you put an entry above the top today. See if it is still going, great. We'll be in the trade. We'll still go with this as the running flat for now. If it changed structurally, and what do I mean by change structurally? If this actually consolidates here to go down to the bottom here, we will sell it. That will be 4 or 5 hours from now, that consolidation. And we will sell it to come back to the bottom. So you can go in the hourly, wait for that sideways. If it makes a sideways there, if you get 4 candles sideways here, 4 or 5 candles sideways here, we'll look for a sell to come back to this level. And this could be a flat for upside. Go there, come back here, and then go. Just a bigger running flat. See? That's the complexity of wave analysis. Aussie is consolidating for upside. Here's what I want to do. I want this to come back here, break this low, and that's a perfect buy setup. Once it breaks the low, we'll put the entry above this top. Right now, you can put an entry, but you have to put the entry above this top, the last impulse. So this becomes a buy. And it's actually a good buy because remember what I tell you, if they make a bigger consolidation here, we're definitely buying. And it looks like a bigger consolidation is already in the making. So that would be a buy setup. Can we buy it earlier into this? No. We'll not do that. We'll wait to see whether this actually could drop to the low. Do I want to sell in that to the downside? The risk to reward might not be good. We can make an argument whether this here is making a running flat to come back here. You would have to put an entry here. You'd have to put a stop here. And this is your target. Not a great trade, right? It might happen, but not a great trade. So you let it happen. And if we get a buy from the bottom here, we'll take it. That will be in a New York session. New Zealand. Also consolidating. I'm not sure we want this trade because this would be a contracting flat. See this here? If this actually goes from here, this would be a contracting flat. And this contracting flat is inside of this. That's a big mess. When that happens, you're in trouble, right? Literally, you're in trouble. So although it can go, the risk in the trade is too high. First is a contracting flat, and second, it's a flat inside of the previous correction. That means you're making a more complex correction. So we'll take the Aussie and we'll leave the New Zealand. Instead of putting my money in the New Zealand, I'll put my money in the Aussie. Now, I don't know which one is going to do what, but I'm looking at the safest trade to put my money on, right? Swiss, if you had a sell in the Swiss, you close that sell. You're not keeping it. You close that sell here for break even a long time ago, even though it's coming down back. Take this off. That is not a trade anymore. Take this off. We had it both ways. The top didn't go, right? There was a buy above the top that didn't go. So now you're here and you're looking at this, and I'm thinking, well, here, this is what we have. We have this and we have this. What about this is a flat? If that is a flat, this has to go back up and come back down. Make a bigger flat here and then take off. Right? As far as I'm concerned, that's what it looks like, right? Can it go lower into the here? Can it go lower into this? It can. This could probably come lower into here. Maybe even go back up like this, come here, go back up like this, come here. If we keep doing this, we're not really selling it. We're waiting for this to happen. And we may or may not buy that, but then we're going to be selling this. If it goes from the top here, if it stays here, if it goes like this, come back here and do this, we're buying it from here to go. It becomes a buy. If it comes back deeper into this, go back there, it becomes a sell. Those are the probabilities of the trade. We'll wait for this. Now I'll take this off. This is useless. We can actually put this like this here now because we're looking for the upside of this trade. See? What would the upside be? Just a correction. Could it be the start of the big move to the upside? It could be, but I don't think so. I think it's just a correction. This would probably just go here. Maybe even drop like that, or it could make another correction here, make another correction here, go there, make another correction here, go there, and then drop. Something like this. Those are probabilities. You will know which one is going to happen when you get into the first trade. So the first trade is upside, we wait for that. If this drop lower, no problem. You don't have a sell setup. Yesterday, the sell was if it's going to drop really deep, and it didn't, so you got rid of it. CAD? Nothing. We didn't have any trade on because nothing is happening, and it looks like nothing happened. We're still here. We did break the top. We did break the top of that. If this is going to drop, this would be a trade. We could still look at this as a running flat. This could still be a running flat. So if this is going to drop, let me see what it looks like. Can we put an entry there? 1, 2, 3. Yep, we put an entry here. So this is the trade. It's kind of a high risk trade because this piece might just come here and go back up, but we can manage that. I think we can manage that. If this is doing, because this sharp move here is not very clear that that's all. But if this is all here, because this had a series of sharp move here too, if that is all, and this is a flat forming here, this will drop, we want the trade. Keep a stop above that. Right, so we're going to go for this trade. How do you trade an expanding triangle? We'll look at that when we come back. So this one looks like a trade. We can put a sell here. Right, yen. We had a sell on yen yesterday. I don't know how many of you kept it or don't kept it. And we might have been tagged here. So 2 ways you manage that. Your stop is always on top of the impulse, right? So 2 ways you manage it. If you either move your stop here and got taken out there, that's an option. You reduce the risk, right? That's one option. The second option is you look for any consolidation in here. Because a consolidation means upside. So you would close the trade here, right? Or if you leave your stop there and you keep the trade. Now, I would not leave my stop and keep the trade. That is why we re-entered the trade this morning. So I was going to show you guys how we do that in the re-entry. So let me go back to the 15 minutes. And once you see this consolidation here, if you move your stop to this level, remember I said this looks like a flat for upside. So if you move your stop to this level here in that consolidation, you close the trade there, you allow the place to take you out, or you still have your stop there, close it here. Right, so you close the trade there for this loss. And then when you made a new high here, we moved the entry to this level. So now you're in this trade buoy. I didn't remove this because I wanted to show you how you would do it, right? We this morning in our trading room, we had a session this morning, moved the entry order to under this low. Right, so this one is closed. You take the loss on that one, and now you're in this one. So pretty much, this is what you're up in right now. This is what you lost. Right, this is what you lost. So once this drop beyond this low, you're in profit. on the same trade. So you don't need to keep the trade. You just need to re-enter the trade at a different point, and you would not be in a problem. Now, there's a good chance this one is going to come and break this low. At least minimum break the low. That's a trade we're looking for. How many pips we have right now moving? This is only 47 pips. If you put that to break even, it's okay. A 47 pip drop, if they reverse it, you don't want to be in that trade. That's another thing you can put as a rule, right? You shouldn't take profit because the profit is coming to this level. Let it be a break even, because if they actually reverse this back to the top here, they're likely going to go higher, right? You don't want to be in a trade that reverses 47 pips back up, right? Then it probably continue. If they make a flag here, we'll still sell. We can't close the trade as yet. We can put it to break even. We can't close it, right? The 1 hour is still active. So if I were you, when you get a sudden drop like that, sometimes they pull back, you put a stop here. You move your stop, you give up 5 pips or 10 pips. Or if you can put it exactly on the spot there for break even, you can do that. You're only giving up, I don't know, 2 pips, basically. Worth the deal. So what we're looking for is a drop like this now. This drop, you see that one there, it didn't go back to that. It dropped. This one didn't go back to the top. It dropped. This one, make 1, 2 small ones. Once you break this bottom, if you close it there and re-enter here, that's a good deal. So once we break this low, we'll be watching this trade very carefully, because once you break that low, it could be the end of the move, right? Sorry, this is, not the end of the move. This is going to be the start of the bigger move. This is going to continue to go. So just put it to break even and stay with it. I thought it was the Swiss where they move could go back up, but they can still make a correction to the upside. So this is a good trade. Keep it for now. Let's go. Swiss. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss, you should have taken this off. When we put it on, we were saying that only if this drops suddenly, but with that correction in play and this correction here, you would take it off. But even if you didn't take it off, it's a break even. I'm not going to even count it. We would have taken it off by all means. And now you can look for a setup here. It probably will get to this level, but you would not really get a good trade, because we didn't trade this. This trade would have happened if this went back like that, make a flat. Instead, it came down here, it went back like this, it's coming down here. These are small corrections, very small correction. It probably will do a few more bits here. Let's wait for the buy. Just ignore this for now. There is no big trade. We already got the big trade. Now this trade doesn't have much more. Let it go slowly, and then we'll go for the buy. What else we have? So I will take this out. That is also not valid right now. Pound yen. Pound yen is coming back down, but pound yen, this trade could have been a loss. It tagged you, and depending on where you put the stop or where you close it, right? So this would be a small loss. You get tagged here, it pull back. The closest place you can close it is this consolidation, and you should have closed it because there was a possibility for it to go back up. Remember, if it's a contracting flat, it will go back up. So this would have been a loss. Your stop is always above the impulse, so you at least reduce the stop by half, right? If you move the stop to this one, take the loss. Now you can sell. We're looking for a sell. Any flag we get here would be a sell again, right? This sell would come back to this level. This would be the thing, because this would become a flat of its own, and the correction would be more complex. So we'll take this off, put that as a small loss, put this here. And what if we're still trying to go up? This is the low. We broke it already. Let's take that off. What if this is a contracting flat? Something we discussed yesterday. What if it's a contracting flat and they're going up now, making this a running flat and go back up? Can we buy it to break this stop? It's a risky trade. It might be worth taking. We'll look at it in the New York session when we come, but it's a pretty risky trade, because if they're still consolidated without going to break the top, it can tag you and drop. So it's not worth the risk. This was the sell that you made profit, and we'll take that off too. So right now, only if we get a flag, we sell. Because of the possibility of this being a running flat, we can't sell it here. Wait for a flag. Makes a flag, we're coming back to the low. We will break the low this time. They'll definitely break the low this time. Punkad, you had a very risky buy, and you should close it all. But if you didn't close it now. This was a risky buy here. We said it's really going to break the top, and then it's going to drop, right? Because we're looking at this pattern here. 1, 2, 3. Now, is it going to drop from this point? If it is going to drop from this point, it's a really good one, right? So this trade should be closed. Take positive, break even, whichever you want. And now we're looking for a trade. Only if we get a flag there, we'll buy it, which means not this small one, but a consolidation, a smaller flag like this. If we get that, we'll buy. Something like this, but a smaller version, we'll buy. If it actually comes a little lower and make a flag, we'll sell. We'll absolutely sell it. We wait for the flag, which means in a couple hours from now, right? Aussie Swiss. We had the entry there for this one, but then it dropped and it made a new low. So we can actually trade this. We can actually trade this running flat, but it's an aggressive trade. Where it is, we'll take it. So it's a buy, but I'll put it as an aggressive buy for those who are not sure of what we're doing here. It's at the bottom, and all aggressive buys from the bottom you can take. So what would happen here is this would either do something like this and drop again, or it will do something like this and keep going up back to the top. Right, and since we know they can go back to the top, it's a good buy, right? For those traders who were yesterday in the session, remember what I tell you? Buys, 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 buys. Worst case is you're going to get break even out of them. Right, so let's go back to the 15. I like the trade. We have a perfect running flat there. Running, yeah, it's a running flat, not expanding. So if this goes up, put the entry above the top, put your stop under. If it's a running flat, your stop has to be under it here. This is your risk. We'll see how far this goes. You can't buy it here because this could still drop. Right? As a rule, you can't try to buy it inside here. That's dangerous. If it still drop, you will not be in this trade. It has to prove to you that this is a running flat and we are going up. Right? So then the trade is worth it. So this is just a regular buy. Put it as a regular buy. And Aussie New Zealand. You still have a sell. It's still consolidating and it's probably will consolidate some more. We can move this up in time. We broke that up, so you can move this up to about this level. It's still a sell. It can go up more. It can consolidate more. Don't try to think. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is, we have to wait to see this. If this becomes a bigger consolidation here, if this piece here goes back, I mean, it's going back up to consolidation here. This is sharp, so this would have to go back down here. And then we'll take the buy for a flat. So this buy, not really a great buy, but if you want to take it, it's a very risky buy here. See, for example, this one, right? See the sharp move? They did go far. So if you want to take that, let's put it in the 15 and see where the entry should be for this. It's a high risk trade. You can put an entry order here. And this is a very high risk trade. Put an entry order here. For the buy, I'll put this as a high risk buy. Any trade like that you take, you have to be prepared to take the loss because it can only do this. It can just do about this and then come back here, make a new low, and then go back up. See, I'm assuming they will go very high, come back here, make a running flat. I'm going for a running flat, and that is why that trade looks good, right? Let's go. The next trade we had was the New Zealand yen. We were looking for a buy setup somewhere in New Zealand yen. Why don't I have it? I'm not sure where that was supposed to be. I have a buy, but I don't have any setup and I don't have any entry in it. Okay, we'll just take it off. My fault. Maybe I probably changed it and forget to change it. I don't know where we would have put it by. If we would have put it by yesterday on this and anywhere with this, it would either be here or it either be here. And in any case, it's a break even. Any of those two would be break even trades. So we'll take it off because I'm not sure where it was supposed to be. We're going sideways. We're literally going sideways here. Let's see this, what it's doing. Not a sell for sure. We did break that top, but we don't have any sell setup. It can go up more and then we'll see. We're looking for a sell setup actually in the New Zealand yen. Now that this is consolidating like that, it should be a sell setup. We don't have the sell setup here. This looks like a flat here in the middle. See this? This looks like a flat in the middle for one more up. I'm pretty sure that looks like a flat in the middle for one more up, right? So you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3. We don't have a buy setup as yet. But it's going to go back up to this level. At least it's going to go back up to that level. And then we'll see if they come back down like this. It needs to come back down like this, right? 1, 2, 3. These are the impulses in it. Come back here, probably break that up, come back here, make a final one, and then drop. So let's see. It's going to go back up. There's no buy setup. CAD, sorry. CAD, you had a sell setup here. That was a break-even trade. That's an old one. I don't know why we still have it because you close the trade here. I see that consolidation. I think on the 1 hour, it's not much of a consolidation. So on the 1 hour, you either close the trade here for a small loss. If you did, you close for a small loss. Your stop should be here. If you kept it, you take break-even now. But on the 15, I would take break even on this. I think it dropped more than 30 pips. You go to the 15 and you take break even when you see the consolidation. We do that very often in the 15, right? This is how much. Yeah, if it dropped 30 something pip, you can take it. But let's assume they go for a small loss on that. So we'll take it as you closing it here for a small loss. It's a bigger correction. It's still downside. We'll take this off and we're still looking for, you put the sell here now. All right, we put the sell under that one. We're trading this stuff. This to break this low. If this goes back up one more, we put the entry here. We'll try to get a trade from the top to break that low. So we'll still get this sell set up. It's going to break the low. And then when it breaks the low, we'll see where it goes from there, right? So look at this here for this to go back up. Most likely if it comes here, perfect, we get that, we go for this trade. We'll try to get it from the top this time. If not, let it drop through the bottom. So you put the entry under the last impulse and we go for it. So it's still a sell, I'll leave that sell. Swiss yen. This was an aggressive buy. That blue is a very aggressive buy here, which didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. You close the trade. It broke the top. Good for us. It's coming down. So now you take this off. The top is broken already. This is the top. This trade is a break even. I will not count profit in that because it only went a few pips. We don't really have a sell set up as yet. We'll get a sell set up if this makes a flag. If this makes a flag here, we'll go with the sell and we'll assume that they might come back to break the low. Right? That would be the assumption. And the bigger picture, that is what it's likely could do. Right? We're looking at this. Yeah, this could come back and break the low. We just need the flag. We don't have a flag, so we'll wait. Once we get a flag there, we'll go for the sell. It's just coming down. It needs to come. It needs to come some more, break this one, and then make the flag. That'd be perfect. So you want it to actually come here, make a flag here, and then we go for that trade. That would be perfect. So let's wait for it. Could it be they're making an expanding flat? Let's take this off. Could it be it's making an expanding flat there, a smaller version of an expanding flat here, like this? Could possibly be. If you go with this as a one, if you go with this as the first move down, this is the correction, and this is coming back here. It will go up. We can buy it. We'll buy it only above the top. Right now, it's more of a downside. This is all the correction. And we're going down now. Wait for the flag. And let's see this. Actually, this went up. It would have been a buy here, but that you'll have to be there to do that. I wasn't there when that happened. And we wait now. It's just making a bigger correction. This whole thing becomes a bigger correction. That whole piece at the top there, because this is not all the correction. That's part of the correction. So what you're going to have is a much bigger correction here now. This will probably consolidate some more. Go back there, come back here, you get a bigger flat here eventually. We just have to wait for it. Let's go. These three we had. Let's see what happens. It went up, so the sell is not valid. It went up there. I'm not sure you had a good buy because it was coming down like this. It actually went there, come here. If you took a buy, you're closing for break even, but it's making a flag here for upside. All right, so can we buy now that we're breaking out of the structure? Let's see where we're going. If we break out of that structure, where that will take us? Back to the top here, probably. See? If you break out of this structure here, then the idea is you're trying to come back to the top here. Right? Which means this is over and that is going back up there. We have a flag. We could take a trade here and see how far that goes before you get a deeper correction. Because they will make a deeper correction. See that? It makes a deeper correction. It makes another deep correction. And then, or this will take off really fast. So let's go back to the 1 hour. Let's see what we have here now. I think we can take this. It's an aggressive trade. It's a very aggressive trade because you have a lot of divergence in here already in the 1 hour. See that? New York session hasn't opened as yet. So if you're going to go with this aggressive trade, you have to be careful that if it just do this and start to pull back, close the trade. But because we're out of the structure, which means any consolidation here could be upside. So we're going to put it as an aggressive buy. Aggressive buy is this one. I think that is aggressive buy, yeah. And this one should be the same. Nope, this one is just breaking out. Same thing, it's just breaking out of the structure, right? We're kind of just breaking out, but this is really flat. I'd be very, very reluctant. This one is just within the top there. So if you're going to take it for the buy here, you have to be really, really careful. It could do two things. It could literally do that, or it could just do this and then come back down. We'll still be in this bigger correction, right? So it's a risky trade if you have the ability to trade it, take it, manage it, use a very tight stop here, which means you're reducing your risk in the stop. Let's put this here as another buy here. High risk buy so that you know that. And this is a normal buy. That's just a regular buy. If you got tagged in it and once or twice, closed it, put an entry above the top. It's a good buy. Actually, I like this buy. This is a better one. Don't risk your money in these two. Put your money in this one. It has to break this top and maybe this top. So you could definitely get a trade there or get break even out of it. So this is a simpler trade. Why risk in those two? It comes back to the same thing, right? You have three possible trades. You want to put your money in one of them or two of them. Put your money in this one. This has the higher probability to go. All of these, you know what to do with them. We'll look at them afterwards. So let's go. This is the first part of the recording that we do with all the trades. This would stop the recording here, and then we'll go look at trade setups and trade in my trading room. But since you guys are here, I'll do it like a webinar. I'll go through all the other trades we didn't look at, right? So now we're looking at the dollar index. It's still consolidating for a sell. That has not changed, except this is telling me it's going to make a, this looks like we're going to make a bigger consolidation, right? That they could probably just come here and go back up, make a bigger flat and then drop, right? More like this or even bigger. So the sell here will have to be careful and then go back up. That's why we're not taking the buy on the euro with the upside, right? So this would probably come down here. Euro is going up. This would probably come here, but then it's going to go back up there. And that would give us the sell on the euro we're looking for. So the euro trade could be profitable or break even, but we will get break even in that case, right? We already looked at silver when we took off the trade, so we're not doing anything there. We already looked at this, nothing is there. Actually, we're looking for a sell setup here. It's a very short-term trade, but it has to go back up to the top there, make this one, and then we're going to go for this trade to drop, break the low, right? So we'll see with that. This is a correction for upside. This would eventually go back up, right? So the trade we're looking for would be a very short-term trade, an entry here, a stop here, break this low, take profit, and watch for that trade up. We'll do that in the New York session if it pulls back. It's not pulling back as yet. If it doesn't pull back and drop, well, then it goes without us. But if it pull back, it will give us the entries are running flat. I want this running flat to form to go for it, right? New Zealand, I think we just looked at New Zealand, took it off. Nothing is there. Swiss, we don't have anything here right now, right? These New Zealand and Swiss, we don't have anything yet. Can we look for the Swiss buy and early? I don't think it's ready for the buy. Depending on how you look at it. What if this is the B part of it? What if this is a, I don't know, 1 and this is 1, 2, 3. Then this would be the end of it and we go up, right? If it is not that, then we're going to come back here and come back down because I'm thinking this is the flat. 1, 2, 3. I'm looking at it a little different. I'm looking at it this way. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3. That is this whole piece here. So we have to go back up. We have to come back down and then go. Let's do this. Let's put an entry order for a buy above this one here. Or even above the top. We're not, with this come back here and go down, we will not tag the top. So we go with that. And then we see how big this correction is going to be to the upside before it comes back down. So we're putting a buy on it, but with a bigger, this is really far from where the price is. We don't want to buy it there. You want to buy it here. But what if it actually spikes? What if for some reason you get a big move like this, but a bigger one to the upside like that? Take the trade. Nothing is happening to your entry order there, right? You're not just going to be taxed suddenly unless it makes that big spike. If it's going up slowly, we'll get a buy from somewhere here. So put the entry order, nothing wouldn't hurt. Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, we don't have anything as yet. We're probably going to get a sell setup. This will probably give us a sell setup, short-term trade to this low, break that low, and then up again. So the question is, do we want that trade? And where would be the entry? We don't have a good entry. We'll only take the entry. If this had gone a little higher, we would look for, we could put the entry here. But I think let's wait for a flag. Right? This could be all you have. 1, 2, 3. Wait for this to make a flag either here or right where it is. And then we'll take this flag to drop here. Stop, entry, target below this low, and then up again. And then we look for the buy setup. EuroCAD, I think we closed this already. We don't have anything. Now we're going to get it. These were the buy setups going up, right? So now we're going to look for the sell setup. Let's see what we have here. It's consolidating, so that is good. But it's not enough, right? So you have this sharp move up, you got this move down, you got that, you're getting this move down, go back up, give us this flat, and then we'll go with this trade. So we'll look for a trade entry here or a flag here. Either would be a trade. If you think this is all and this one is dropping, put the entry under the low. So now I don't want to confuse these with those, right? I'll take these off. Those were the winning trades already, and this one also. All right, so now we're doing the opposite. We're coming back down. Where is the big picture? Let's go for the big picture. If you remember when you joined, I said, watch it when we break this top because we don't know what the hell this is doing, right? If when we break that top, it starts to come down and you can see this straight here. You see this setup here. This one is even worse because this pulled back. So this was the sell, right? So this will be the sell. Put the entry there. If it goes back up there, we'll put the entry here and then we'll look for this trade down. We're expecting this trade down. Something like this. And then we would get this trade up. Something like that. And then we'll get a drop. If we're correct about that, that's a good trade. So put your entry and we'll see where we go from there. So I'm adding a sell entry here. See? Trades we take off, trades we put on, you can see the ones we're putting on. So when we come in the next session, we look at the trades again that are active that we have, right? Euro Swiss. Nothing. We took this off. We're not putting anything here. It can still drop, but forget. I'd rather sell the Euro CAD than the Euro Swiss, right? Euro Oz. Again, this can go down. I think this can literally drop to the low, to the bottom here. We don't have a very good sell setup. This is not a good sell setup. This is a sharp one. This is inside of that. It could come here, go back up, and then drop. So we'll just leave this alone. Euro Yen. Yep. It can come back down. We can make an argument that this is going to come here, go back up, make this a flat. We don't have a sell setup here. That's the problem. So we leave that. Euro pound. Okay, you can look for a sell setup here now under this one. Question is, where would that go? Do I think this pattern is over and we're going down? I don't think so. Do I think this is 1, 2, 3, and we're going down? No. So I would probably stay out of this trade. We're not going to take any trade on this. Right? We'll just leave it alone. Pound Swiss. You probably get a sell here. It's going to give you one more drop. One more drop to about this level here. And then upside. So let's see if we want the sell. Go on to 15. Not as yet. It's early. Let this come back here first. Maybe go back up there and then we'll put an entry here for the sell. If you want to put an entry for a sell, put it here. So we can put the entry for the sell here and we'll manage it as we go, right? So we put the sell set up here. We know the trade, we know the risk. We're going to see if it drops. It just needs a one drop here and then that will do something like this drop. If they come here and consolidate, we'll move. If they like this did, right? It came in and consolidated here. Remember, we had our entry here, but then we took an aggressive one there. So if this comes here and consolidate, we'll take the aggressive one from there. Instead of here, we'll take it from here and we'll go with that trade. Right? So you're just watching how the pattern is developing and then you decide where is your best entry. Thomas? Nope, nothing. Still as yet nothing. We're kind of breaking out of this, but that doesn't mean anything. We're still in this whole big unknown factor, right? So just leave it alone. Eventually to tell us, this should be upside. But I don't see the completion of the pattern it's not crystal clear to me, so I'll just wait. Right? Tomcat. We close this. Remember, there's a buy setup. We close. We're waiting for a flag. If it makes a flag, we'll buy. We don't have any flags yet. Tongue New Zealand. It's going up back. We want the flag for the buy. Remember, I said we want this, the buy to go up. Well, we might be making that right now. It's a little smaller than the previous one. This is a little smaller, and then they're consolidating here. So I want this to consolidate some more. And then we will take this straight to the upside. What if this is the takeoff without that consolidation? That's a very valid question, right? Let's say you said, hey, this thing looks like it's gonna go. I don't want to miss the trade. What if it takes off really sharp, really quick, and we don't get this consolidation here to get the trade? You can put an entry above the top here. Now, that's a pretty risky trade because now all you need to do is break this stop. See, all they need to do is break this stop. The trade is from here. This is the trade. When it breaks that top, because it goes sideways or it comes back down, right? So if you were taking this trade from here, all you know is when they break that top, that's your trade. So if you put it here, when it breaks this top, this is your trade only, right? And your stop is literally here, which is not such a good trade. But if it makes the flag, if you put it here, now take that out, and it makes this flag here, which is it comes back down here and give us a very nice flag like this, then we will buy it here to break this stop. And this is the trade. And your stop comes here. So now you have a 2-to-1 risk to reward trade. So let's wait for it. And there isn't the trade right now. Aussie yen. It's still consolidating. So you probably have this here come here, maybe even go back there and then drop like that. We'll still be in this consolidation. So it's not a sell, it's not a buy, just leave it. We'll come back to that. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, still nothing here. We're going sideways, so let's wait. New Zealand CAD. You might get a sell set up here now, right? As a pullback. See that? Can it go lower than this? Let's see where we are. No, we're still expecting it to go back up, but let's see. Can we get a sell set up here for a short-term trade? What is it doing? No, I think we'll wait. We're not going to take the sell. We're going to wait to see how high this goes. This is actually going back up. Let it come back to the top there and then drop like this. And then we'll take this trade to the upside. So just leave that alone. We'll come back to it. Let's see. New Zealand yen. We looked at this. I think we don't have anything there. Again, I showed you that there's a possibility that this here could go up one more, but I don't think it's going to go really far. And there's a chance that this goes up one more. But like this piece here, it might not go very far. It might just do this. So I think we wait. I don't think I don't think it's the one that will take off. Let's see if we get a better entry. This whole thing will drop eventually, right? The whole thing is a big sideways move to drop, right? See this? This is a big sideways move that when it comes here, it's going to drop. We just have to wait for it to finish because I don't see the upside in it as yet. I mean, I don't see the big upside. There's a small upside here. Just have to wait for that. And CAD Swiss. Same here. We're just making a bigger correction for downside. And we don't have anything. It said this is coming down. So let this come back here, go there, make a flat, come back here, go there, and then we get a sell setup. Can we trade in this range? Too small. Too small a range to trade it. And that's it for those. Let's see. Natural gas, we already have a sell in it. We should put this as a sell. US oil. Nothing as yet. Like I said, it's probably going to go back up. This one will probably go back up there, so we'll have to wait. We did make a flat in the middle. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, it did make a flat here. I kind of make a small flat there. You might get one, you might get this go here, you might come back here again, make another one like this probably, and then go up. All right, let's see. Not sure what the hell they're doing. We'll just wait on it because the bigger picture is this. All right, when all this consolidation is finished, this would go up. It might come back here for this flat. Then go finish that. This is the trade you want. But if we get this, we'll take it. From the bottom here, if we get this, we'll take it. Taking this to the top there is not a good idea. Right, it's a very bad idea. You can see that. And UK oil is the same thing, right? Buying it to the top there is not a good idea. Let's see. PayPal, we don't have anything right now. Tesla, we don't have anything. They're just consolidating. We're looking for a buy on Tesla, but we don't have it as yet. It's still going sideways. Amazon, nothing. US 30 we already did. We already put the extreme buy, risky buy, and the buy on this one. Let's see NASDAQ where we have nothing. Leave it alone. It's going to go up, but that is definitely not a buy. And Nifty. Nifty kind of going sideways. It will go back up. This will probably be going back up here. We're still in a kind of a consolidation here for one more drop. So leave it alone for now. I don't think this is the takeoff to the top. We expect it to go back up, right? But because they're consolidating here, there's a high probability that they will probably come here and then drop here before it goes back up, right? Because this is the pattern we're looking at for upside. If it's going up, don't buy it here. Wait for a better setup to buy. Let's go. Bitcoin. Still consolidating, which means the upside is still valid, right? This could still go here, maybe come back here again. If you look at this as the 1, 2, 3, then you will have 1, 2, 3. You will have to come down back like this. See that 3-wave down? You'll have to come back like this, finish this move, and then go. If we get this 3-wave down here, we'll put the entry order here, we'll put the entry order here for the buy. So we're going to get a little more aggressive once we see that the pattern completed itself. It should be the same thing for Ethereum. See, we're still consolidating. Should be the same thing for XRP. We're still consolidating, coming downwards, but in a correction. This one is, yeah, same thing, 1, 2, 3. Now we will start to look for a buy setup. It doesn't matter how low this goes, right? Let it go, let it go. It will give you a move back to the top and then drop the lower it comes here. But if it goes from here, it could totally go up. So we look for a buy setup when this makes an impulse and a flag. ADA, same thing, correction. So you're correcting this thing, nothing there. All of them has the same structure. Pretty much the same thing, right? We got a sharp move up. You go 1, 2, 3 down, you make that correction, you get a 1, 2, 3 down, you complete this, and then you go. Every single one of them has that. So Dash, that's a little different in that you broke the top already, but it could be some kind of a running flat in the making, which means you could have something like this, right? This one, this go up, you could 1, 2, 3 here, this goes up, you get 1, 2, 3, come back here, you get this, and then you go. So let it drop to this level. If it turns and make a flag here, we buy that flag to the upside. It's not a sell. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm trying to buy it, but we keep an entry order above the top. A few of them that broke the top, we have an entry order above the top, right? This one you can take this off. We'll try to buy it from the bottom. This is the same thing. Break the low and then we'll consider it. Break the low and then we'll consider it, right? This one is likely going to drop lower. This is a big flat. Ignore that one. This is coming down nicely. It's coming down way down to the bottom. So I think we'll end up with a flat. This is going to come here, go back up there, make a flat here, and then drop one more before it goes. See? So if we get a buy setup from the bottom, you can take it back all the way to that top. Same should be here, right? This could continue going. This might be the only one that are making a long drawn out running flat in the series. You go up, you make a flat. You go up, you probably look at this as a flat, you make another one, you go up, you probably make another flat, you keep doing this, and eventually you could just take off. So this might be slightly different. You can put the entry to buy there. Very aggressive. This one is consolidating. You can look for a buy. We broke the low again. I think we broke the low now, so we can put this entry order here. And this one. See why we closed it and put it above the top. It's still consolidating, so leave it. And this, we closed it, we put the entry above the top. It's still consolidating. Actually, if this stays with a consolidation here, this could go up, right? This would be one correction, go up. So the entry order above the top is a good idea. Just leave it there and let's see what happens. And these two, let's see, still coming down. Actually, this would drop some more. This literally will drop some more here. Probably drop some more like that and then go back up. Once it breaks the low, we'll put an entry above the top. And this, it's coming down. So we don't know if it's making a bigger expanding kind of flat. Somebody asked about an expanding triangular looking pattern. Could this be one of that? Where this comes here and then go? You can trade it two ways. You can put an entry above the top, or you can wait to get a flag here, confirm the upside. Okay, I hope that answered your questions. So we pretty much finish it. I'll stop the recording. You don't want it longer than that. And then we will continue here with Q&A, which will not be in the recording.